Good morning, students. Welcome to chemistry class. Today's lesson is being presented by Vivian Rozo. Today's topic is the discussion of quantum mechanical model of atom. In the previous classes, we discussed the Niels Bohr's atomic model. The Niels Bohr's atomic model could not explain certain facts, and the Niels Bohr's atomic model cannot explain the wave nature of electrons proposed by de Broglie and the uncertainty principle proposed by Heisenberg also. Though the Bohr's theory has some limitations, the concept of fixed energy levels is valid. By using the concept of fixed energy levels, Bohr successfully explained the line spectra of hydrogen and other hydrogen-like species, the He plus ion and Li2 plus ion. De Broglie proposed that electron possesses dual behavior. The electrons spread around the nucleus in the form of stationary wave. Because of that, the position of electron cannot be determined precisely at certain time. The new model to be supposed should explain the wave nature of electrons, the idea of uncertainty in the position of electrons in the atom, and the concept of fixed energy states. In order to explain the behavior of electron or a subatomic particle which possesses the wave nature, in the year 1925, Heisenberg, Erwin Schrödinger, and Dirac developed a theory known as quantum mechanics or wave mechanics. This theory is based on the concept of probability. So, in order to explain the behavior of electron around the nucleus, Schrödinger proposed an equation known as Schrödinger equation. It states that dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square m by h square into e minus v into psi is equal to 0, where psi is called wave function. A function of space coordinates xyz. M is the mass of electron, E is the permissible total energy which the electron can have, and V is the potential energy of the electron, H is the Planck's constant, and dou stands for an infinitesimal small change. This dou square psi by dou x square represents an infinitesimal small change in the value of psi when there is a very small change in the value of x, that is x coordinate of the position of electron. This dou square psi by dou y square represents an infinitesimal change in the value of psi with respect to a small change in the y coordinate, and this dou square psi by dou z square represents the small change in the value of psi with respect to z coordinate, that is for a very small change in the z coordinate. Here m is the mass of electron, h is the Planck's constant, E is the total energy of an electron can have, and V is the potential energy. Okay. What is the physical significance of psi, and what is the physical significance of psi square? In the Schrödinger's wave equation, psi is considered as a function of space coordinates x, y, z, and it is also a function of time. At a particular instant, it is a function of x, y and z only. It has no special significance, but it represents the amplitude of electron wave. What does it represent? Represents the amplitude of electron wave. Whereas psi square represents the probability of finding electron of specific energy at a given point in the space around the nucleus. The wave mechanics or quantum mechanics is completely based on the probability of finding electron. So that probability of finding electron is represented by psi square. Psi square represents the probability of finding electron of specific energy at a given point in the space around the nucleus. Let us see the probability of finding electron around the nucleus. In this picture, each dot represents the position of electron at a certain instant. Suppose if the positions of electron is photographed for few seconds, the images will be like this. That is, electron exists at different positions at different timings. Each dot represents the position of electron at a particular instant. And these are the positions of electron at various instants. In these dots, a large number of dots are concentrated in a circular path like this region. And this region is said to be the atomic orbital. That is, the region around the nucleus where the probability of finding electron is maximum. The region which contains more than 95% of the probability of finding electron is considered as the atomic orbital. Its boundary is given in the second picture. This is the boundary line which covers more than 95% of the probability of finding the electron. The densities of the dots are not the same at all the places. At some places, the densities of dots are more, and at some other places, the densities of dots are less. The region around the nucleus where there is a maximum probability of finding electron is considered as orbital. What is the difference between orbit and orbital? Let us see. There are some differences between orbit and orbital. Orbit is a circular path around the nucleus, whereas orbital is a three-dimensional region around the nucleus. Orbit is two-dimensional. Electron moves around the nucleus in the form of in the circular path, so it is a two-dimensional region, whereas orbital is a three-dimensional region around the nucleus in which the probability of finding electron is maximum. The orbit is circular in shape, whereas the orbital is either spherical or dumbbell or double dumbbell or fourfold dumbbell in shape. Let us see these shapes. Orbit is the circular path around the nucleus, whereas orbital is the spherical region around the nucleus where there is a maximum probability of finding the electron. Some orbitals are circular in shapes, some orbitals are dumbbell in shape. Dumbbell, this kind of shape is called a dumbbell shape. And some orbitals are double dumbbell in shape. Double dumbbell, two dumbbells. This is one dumbbell and this is another dumbbell. And some orbitals are fourfold dumbbell in shape. Fourfold dumbbell. This blue colored dumbbell and red colored dumbbell on the front side, and the blue colored dumbbell and red colored dumbbell on the rear side. Fourfold dumbbell. A double dumbbell has 4 lobes, whereas fourfold dumbbell has 8 lobes. A dumbbell has two lobes only. A spherical orbital contains one lobe which is spherical in shape. Another difference between orbit and orbital is the position and momentum of electron in an orbit can be known with complete certainty, whereas the position and momentum of electron cannot be found simultaneously with complete certainty. Niels Bohr calculated the velocity of electron, that is, momentum of electron can also be calculated. If velocity of electron is calculated, momentum of electron can be calculated, and the position of electron also can be calculated at a given instant from the velocity as the electron revolves in the circular path, that is in a specific path. Whereas the position and momentum of electron cannot be determined simultaneously with complete certainty in the orbital. Electron moves around the nucleus just like a bee moves around the honeycomb. That means electron moves around the nucleus in the form of a three-dimensional wave around the nucleus in a zigzag manner. The position of electron cannot be estimated in the next moment. It moves in a zigzag manner. Its position cannot be estimated in the next moment. So, position cannot be determined with complete certainty. Whereas in an orbit, the position and velocity or the position and momentum of electron can be determined with complete certainty. Another difference between orbit and orbital is an orbit can accommodate a maximum of 2n square electrons, where n is the principal quantum number. According to this, if n is equal to 1, that is, in the first orbit, the maximum number of electrons can be accommodated will be 2 into 1 square, that is 2. In the second orbit, the maximum number of electrons can be accommodated will be 2 into 2 square, that is 8 electrons. In the third orbit, n is equal to 3, the maximum number of electrons can be accommodated is 2 into 3 square, that is 2 into 9, that is 18. Third orbit can accommodate 18 electrons. The fourth orbit can accommodate how many electrons? 2 into 4 square, that is 2 into 16, that is 32 electrons, and so on. First orbit can accommodate a maximum of 2 electrons. Second orbit can accommodate a maximum of 8 electrons. Third orbit can accommodate a maximum of 18 electrons. And the fourth orbit can accommodate a maximum of 32 electrons. Whereas an orbital can accommodate a pair of electrons, that is only 2 electrons with opposite spins. In this pair of electrons present in an orbital, one electron spins in the clockwise direction and the other electron spins in the anti-clockwise direction. The spin of electron is nothing but the movement of electron around its own axis. These are the differences between the orbit and orbital. What are quantum numbers? While solving the Schrodinger's wave equation, that is dou square psi by dou x square plus dou square psi by dou y square plus dou square psi by dou z square plus 8 pi square into m by h square into e minus v into psi is equal to 0. Three integers are arbitrarily taken by the scientist for a mathematical necessity, and these three numbers are said to be the quantum numbers. The Schrodinger's wave equation has many solutions, that means many values of psi are obtained. This is showing that there are more than one orbital in an atom. The three integers which were arbitrarily introduced to explain The solutions of the Schrodinger's wave equation are known as the principal quantum number, the azimuthal quantum number, and the magnetic quantum number. You know that an orbital is a permissible state of electron around the nucleus. As different psi values are obtained, different orbitals are present in an atom, and these permissible states of electron can be completely explained by these quantum numbers. In order to represent the spin of electron, another number is introduced. That quantum number is called spin quantum number. All these four numbers together called quantum numbers. Among these four quantum numbers, the principal quantum number, the azimuthal quantum number, and the magnetic quantum number are obtained from the solutions of Schrodinger's wave equation, whereas the spin quantum number was introduced by the scientists to explain the spin of electron. What are those quantum numbers? Principal quantum number, which is denoted by n. Azimuthal quantum number is also known as orbital quantum number, as it represents the shape of the orbital, and it also gives the angular momentum of electron. So it is also known as angular momentum quantum number and is denoted by L. The magnetic quantum number is denoted by M or ML, and the spin quantum number is denoted by S or MS. Let us discuss these quantum numbers one by one. What is the significance of principal quantum number n? The principal quantum number n denotes the main energy level. The main energy level in which the orbital is belonging is represented by the principal quantum number. It takes the values 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on and designated by the symbols K, L, M and so on. It denotes the size of the orbital and it gives the energy of electron in the orbital. It gives the size of the orbital. As the value of principal quantum number increases, the size of the orbital also increases. It gives the energy of electron in the orbital. As the size of the orbital increases, the energy of the shell also increases. The energies are in the order E1 less than, E2 less than, E3 less than, E4, where E1 is the energy of the first energy level and E2 is the energy of the second shell or second energy level, E3 is the energy of the third shell or third energy level, and E4 is the fourth energy level. Energy of E4 is the energy of fourth energy level or fourth shell. Here these are not orbits, these are the shells. The electrons present in these regions, these are the spherical shells, the electron revolves in these regions in a zigzag manner, not in a circular path or in an elliptical path. Let us see the energies. The equation proposed by Bohr to calculate the energy is still valid according to this quantum mechanical model also. According to that, the energy of first energy level is minus 1312 kilojoules per mole. Energy of second energy level is minus 328 kilojoules per mole. For third energy level, the energy is minus 145.8 kilojoules per mole. For fourth energy level, the energy is minus 82.0 kilojoules per mole. And for fifth energy level, the energy is minus 52.5 kilojoules per mole. Here also, you can identify the differences between two successive energy levels. The difference of energy between two successive energy levels is gradually decreasing. The energy difference between first level and second level is very high, and the energy difference between second level and third level is low. The energy difference between third and fourth level is still smaller, and the energy difference between fourth and fifth levels is still smaller. This gives the number of orbitals in the given main energy level. The number of orbitals in a given main energy level is n square. According to that, the first shell, that is K shell, contains one orbital. That orbital is represented by 1s. The orbital in the K shell is represented by 1s, and the orbitals in the L shell, there are 4 orbitals in the L shell. These are represented by 2s, 2px, 2py and 2pz. In the M shell, there are 9 orbitals. These orbitals are 3s, 3px, 3py, 3pz, 3dxy, 3dyz, 3dzx, 3d x square minus y square and 3d z square. The N shell, that is fourth shell, contains 4 square, that is 16 orbitals, 1 s orbital, 3 p orbitals, 5 d orbitals and 7 f orbitals. The total number of orbitals will be 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7, that is equal to 16 in the fourth energy level. Next, second quantum number is azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number is denoted by L. It describes the shape of the orbital. It takes the values from 0 to n minus 1. Actually, this azimuthal quantum number represents the sub-energy levels present in the main energy level. So according to that, each sub-energy level is represented by an azimuthal quantum number whose value varies from 0 to n minus 1. In the first main energy level, there is only one sub-energy level. For that one sub-energy level, the azimuthal quantum number is 0. For n is equal to 1, L is equal to 0. For n is equal to 2, L has two values, that is 0 to 2 minus 1, that is 0 and 1. For n is equal to 3, L has three values, that is 0 to 3 minus 1, that is 0, 1, 2. For n is equal to 4, L has 4 values, that is from 0 to 4 minus 1, that is 0 to 3. Those values are 0, 1, 2, 3. This gives the orbital angular momentum of electron. When electron revolves around the nucleus, its angular momentum can be obtained from the L value. Orbital angular momentum UL is equal to square root of L into L plus 1 into h by 2 pi. or square root of L into L plus 1 into H bar. This H bar is known as Hamiltonian operator whose value is equal to H by 2 pi. Here H bar is equal to H by 2 pi. So according to this, for L is equal to 0, the angular momentum will be square root of 0 into 0 plus 1, that is square root of 0, 0 into h by 2 pi, that is 0. Angular momentum is 0 for L is equal to 0. For L is equal to 1, the angular momentum of electron will be square root of 1 into 1 plus 1, that is 1 into 2 into h by 2 pi, that is square root of 2 into h by 2 pi. Square root of 2 into h by 2 pi, that is h by root 2 into pi, is the angular momentum for L is equal to 1. For L is equal to 3 in any main energy level, in the fourth energy level or third energy level, for L is equal to 2, the angular momentum will be square root of 2 into 2 plus 1 into h by 2 pi. 2 into 2 plus 1 is square root of 2 into 3, that is square root of 6 into h by 2 pi. So in this way, the L value gives the angular momentum of electron in an orbital, not in orbit. The L value not only gives the angular momentum but also the magnetic momentum of electron due to the revolution around the nucleus. When an electron, that is a charged particle, moves around the nucleus, some magnetic dipole moment is developed. That magnetic dipole moment is called magnetic momentum. That magnetic momentum can be calculated by using the formula mu L, mu capital L is equal to square root of L into L plus 1 Bohr magnetons. Bohr magneton is the unit in which the magnetic momentum is expressed. The value of one Bohr magneton is equal to 9.2732 into 10 to the power of minus 24 joules per Tesla. It can be obtained, it will be equal to EH by 4 pi m, where E is the charge of electron, H is the Planck's constant and m is the mass of electron. Its value is 9.2732 into 10 to the power of minus 24 joules per Tesla in SI system. That is equal to 9.2732 into 10 to the power of minus 21 ergs per Gauss. Here the relation between Tesla and Gauss is 1 Gauss is equal to 10 to the power of minus 4 Tesla. And this is the value in the CGS system. The designations of various orbitals. The value of L is equal to 0, L is equal to 1, L is equal to 2 and L is equal to 3. L is equal to 0, orbital is represented by the symbol S. The orbital for which L is equal to 2, 1 is denoted by P. The orbital for which L is equal to 2 is denoted by D. And the orbital for which L is equal to 3 is denoted by F. The symbols S, P, D, F are taken from the spectroscopic terms of the spectral lines. S represents a sharp, the lines are very sharp. P represents principal, D represents diffused and F represents fundamental. For n is equal to 1, L can have only one value, that is 0. Thus the first main energy level consists of only one sub-energy level. For n is equal to 2, L can have two values 0 and 1. That is, second main energy level consists of two sub-energy levels. For n is equal to 3, L takes three values 0, 1 and 2. So, there are three sub-energy levels in the third main energy level. In the same way, there are four sub-energy levels in the fourth main energy level. When more than one electron are present in the atom, the energy of electron not only depends upon the n value but also on the L value. In a main energy level, the L values, that is energies of various sub-energy levels, are in the order S less than, P less than, D less than F. That is, in a main energy level, in a particular main energy level, the S sub-energy level has lesser energy than P sublevel, P sub-energy level has lesser energy than D sublevel, and D sub-energy level has lesser energy than F sublevel. The reason is, if there are more than one electrons, the electron present in the S sub-energy level shields the electron present in the P sub-energy level. Because of that, the nucleus doesn't show its complete effect on the electron in the P level. So, the energy of electron in the P level is more than the energy of electron in the S level. In the same way, the S and P electrons shield the electrons of D energy level. So, electron in D energy level possesses more energy than the electrons in the S and P levels, and so on. Next, magnetic quantum number. This magnetic quantum number is denoted by M or ML. This denotes the orientation of orbital in space. Azimuthal quantum number denotes the shape of orbital. The principal quantum number denotes the size of orbital. Azimuthal quantum number denotes the shape of orbital, whereas magnetic quantum number denotes the orientation of orbital in space. The probability of finding electron around the nucleus is not symmetrical around the nucleus in all the orbitals. Only in the s orbitals, the probability of finding electron is symmetrical around the nucleus, whereas in the other orbitals, the probabilities of finding electron around the nucleus are not symmetrical. So, the electron cloud density orients in certain directions in the space, and those orientations are represented by this orbital quantum number. This takes the values from minus L to plus L, that is, it takes 2L plus 1 values. Minus L to plus L, that is including 0, that is 2L plus 1 values. That is minus L plus 1, minus L plus 2, and so on. Minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, and so on. L minus 1 up to L. 1 to L values, minus 1 to minus L values, that is L plus L 2L values, plus 0, 1, that is it takes 2L plus 1 values. For S sub-energy level, L is equal to 0. When L is equal to 0, M value will be 0. For L is equal to 0, M value is 0. That is, M takes only one value. So, only one orientation is possible. So, number of orbitals is equal to 1. For P subshell or P orbital, L is equal to 1. When L is equal to 1, L takes three values, that is minus 1 to plus 1, including 0, that is plus 1, 0 and minus 1. These are the different M values for the different orbitals present in the P subshell, or three different orientations of P orbital. Three different orientations of P orbitals have the magnetic quantum numbers plus 1, 0 and minus 1. And these orbitals are represented by Px, Py and Pz. The orbital which is oriented in the direction of x-axis is px, the orbital which is oriented in the direction of y-axis is py, and the orbital which is oriented in the direction of z-axis is pz. So, three orientations are possible for p orbital. That means there are three p orbitals in a main energy level. Next, when L value is equal to 2, the orbital is said to be d orbital. It takes 2l plus 1 values, that is 5 values from -2 to +2, -2, -1, 0, +1 and +2. So 5 different m values are possible. Each represents the orientation of the electron cloud density around the nucleus. As 5 orientations are possible, there are 5 d orbitals and they are denoted by dxy, dyz, dzx, dx square minus y square and dz square. That is, there are 5 d orbitals in a main energy level. If d orbitals are present, it possesses 5 orientations. That means 5 d orbitals are present in the main energy level. The first energy level has only s suborbital, that is s orbital. The second main energy level has both s orbital and 3 p orbitals, and third main energy level has 1 s orbital, 3 p orbitals and 5 d orbitals and so on. It also denotes the z component of angular momentum of electron in an orbital. Z component of angular momentum. Angular momentum is a vector quantity. If the angular momentum is resolved into three components towards x-axis, towards y-axis and towards z-axis, the angular momentum towards z-axis is said to be the z component. The z component of angular momentum Lz. Suppose L is the angular momentum, Lz is the z component of angular momentum, it will be equal to m into h by 2 pi, where m is the magnetic quantum number. The z component is equal to magnetic quantum number into h by 2 pi. That is, not only the angular momentum but also the z component is quantized. If theta is the angle between z-axis and angular momentum vector, the z component Lz is equal to total angular momentum into cos theta, where L is the angular momentum. Therefore, m into h by 2 pi is equal to L cos theta. In one way, Lz is equal to m into h by 2 pi. In another way, Lz is equal to L into cos theta. So, m into h by 2 pi is equal to L cos theta, or m into h by 2 pi is equal to, but we know that L is equal to angular momentum, that is given by square root of L into L plus 1 into h by 2 pi into cos theta. That is, m values depend on L values. M is equal to square root of L into L plus 1 into cos theta. M value depends on L values. Another one is spin quantum number. This spin quantum number was suggested by the scientists in order to represent the spin of electrons. A revolving electron spins around its own axis. There are two possibilities of spinning of electron, one in the clockwise direction, like this. One in the clockwise direction and the other in the anti-clockwise direction, opposite to the clockwise direction. For the electron which spins in the clockwise direction, plus of is assigned, and for the electron which spins in the anti-clockwise direction, minus of is assigned. Why plus of and minus of are assigned? There are two values for spin quantum numbers, and the magnitudes of these two values should be equal, and the difference between them should be 1 only. So because of that, those values should be plus of and minus of. Plus of is assigned for the electron spinning in the clockwise direction, and minus of is assigned for the electron spinning in the anti-clockwise direction. The spin quantum number denotes the spin magnetic momentum by the formula mu s is equal to square root of s into s plus 1 into Eh by 4 pi m. Spin magnetic momentum. The magnetic momentum is mainly developed by the spinning electron. A charged particle spins around its own axis. Magnetic dipole moment is produced. Both the movements of electron, that is the spin of electron as well as the revolution of electron, produce the magnetic dipole moment. The magnetic dipole moment produced by the spin of electrons, mu s is equal to square root of s into s plus 1 into Eh by 2 pi m. That is equal to square root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons, where S is the spin. S is the total spin of electrons. If there are n unpaired electrons in the atom, the spin magnetic momentum mu s is equal to square root of n by 2. Each electron possesses of n by 2 into n by 2 plus 1 into Eh by 2 pi m, that is equal to square root of, this can be written as n plus 1, n plus 2 by 2 n into n plus 2 by 2 into 2, that is 4 into Eh by 2 pi m, that is square root of n into n plus 2 into the 4, when comes out from the root it becomes 2 Eh by 4 pi m. But Eh by 4 pi m is equal to 1 Bohr magneton, so its value will be equal to n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. The angular momentum of spinning electron is given by the formula mu s is equal to, mu small s is equal to square root of s into s plus 1 into h by 2 pi. The angular momentum of electron revolving around the nucleus is given by square root of L into L plus 1 into h by 2 pi, whereas the angular momentum due to spin of electron is given by square root of s into s plus 1 into h by 2 pi. The magnetic momentum developed by the spin of electron is square root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. Both spin and revolution of electron produce the angular momentum as well as magnetic momentum. The magnetic momentum produced by the revolution of electrons is square root of L into L plus 1 Bohr magnetons, whereas magnetic momentum produced by the spin of electrons is square root of n into n plus 2 Bohr magnetons. What about angular momentum? Angular momentum produced by the revolution of electrons is square root of L into L plus 1 into h by 2 pi, whereas angular momentum produced by the spinning electrons is square root of s into s plus 1 into h by 2 pi. The spin multiplicity of an atom can be calculated by using the formula 2 into sigma s plus 1. That is equal to 2 into capital S plus 1, where capital S is the spin of all the unpaired electrons together. If there is only one unpaired electron, the capital S value will be off. If there are two unpaired electrons, the capital S value will be 1. If there are three unpaired electrons, the S value will be 3 by 2 and so on. The more the spin multiplicity of an atom, the more will be the stability of atom. The spin multiplicity represents the stability of an atom. If there are more number of unpaired electrons, the atom will be more stable. So in this way, the four quantum numbers represent the address of an electron in an atom. The principal quantum number denotes the size of the orbital or the main energy level in which the electron is present. The azimuthal quantum number denotes the subenergy level or orbital in which the electron lies. The magnetic quantum number denotes the orientation of the orbital, that is the direction at which the electron lies in the orbital, and the spin quantum number represents the spin of electron in the orbital. As there are only two electrons in an orbital, there are only two spins which are plus of and minus of. So the quantum numbers are just like the address of electron in an atom. To locate a person, we need some values like the village, the street, the door number, the name. In the same way, we need four quantum numbers, that is the principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number, the magnetic quantum number and spin quantum number to distinguish different electrons present in an atom. Let us continue this in the next class. Thank you.